Yeah, we are live discussing the match yesterday, GT versus RR. I think the GT juggernaut continues, right? Everything seems to fall in place. And like we've discussed many times earlier, if you let that GT top order score, it's very difficult to come back. And it's a clear plan, right? I think Nera is like we all know, right? He's a man of a few plans, just one or two, three plans. And if those plans work, that's it. Nothing, nobody can stop GT. And the plan is that one of the top order should go and end up playing a long innings. And that always happens, right? And once it happens, it's tough for they end up putting a good score. And we also discussed earlier their focus on fast bowling. In that Ahmedabad pitch, scoring is difficult. I mean, scoring is actually easy, but if you have players who can bowl at that pace, I think it's difficult to play the GT bowling lineup. So again, very few plans, but those plans are always properly executed. What are your first thoughts, Shu?
Yeah, actually, Nehraji is like a football manager. He's very animated on the ground. In the dugout, and then there was a guy called Rahul Dravid who's like completely opposite. You know, uh, Nehraji is running around from one place to
Yeah,
another. Tips and whatnot, and then there's Rahul Dravid who's just quietly sitting at one place with his notes and.
unfortunately now stuck to a wheelchair also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, two contrasting personalities, but I think the intent is pretty much there for
Yeah, yeah,
for
it is the same.
from both of them. But coming back to the game, I think like you mentioned, the plan is pretty clear. The top order is like really heavy, and they are heavily dependent on it, and they realize that if the top
Yeah,
order fails completely, then I think it's gonna be a difficult situation for GT because I know Shahrukh has played a decent knock yesterday. Tewatia also came in handy, but again, once they realize that the top three, which is Sudarshan, Gill, and Butler, they are the key players, and so far
yeah,
so good. For these guys,
yeah,
and it's working out well. Uh, and like you mentioned, the most heartening see there are two things which I picked up from the last game or from GT's tournament so far. One obviously is the form of Sai Sudarshan. I think every time we watch him, we realize that this is a potential test player for India. Very soon, maybe in England series, who knows? Because the technique is right up there, and
yeah,
every time you watch him, he's like he surprises you. The consistency is just unreal. So from that point of view, one is Sai Sudarshan, and other obviously, like you mentioned, is the depth of Indian bowling. They've got Prasidh Krishna, Siraj, Ishan Sharma, and that is fabulous to see. No,
yeah.
not too many teams have got that depth with respect to Indian fast bowling attack. So both the teams sort of stand out for me.
Yeah, you're right. And now they're unearthing new players also. I mean, Kulwant Kejriwal. Kejriwal also played earlier. He was there, but now he's probably getting a more important role, and Arshad Khan as well. So they not only what do you call playing with the tried and tested players, they're unearthing new talents as well. And clearly, I think Nehra plays a big part in that. Let's get to the Gujarat batting, right? I think see, like you said, right. If you get the top three out in the first 10 overs, I think any team has a good chance against Gujarat. But what they're doing is they're ensuring that at least one out of those three ends up staying beyond the 10th over. And they start guiding the middle order batsmen. If the middle order batsmen don't have that guiding force from the top order, I think they'll become clueless. Because the Shahrukhs and the Tewatis of the world, I don't think they're that level yet compared to the other middle order batsmen we have in other teams. But the consistency of Sai Sudharsan, like you mentioned, is unreal. And I would stay one step forward. I think he should be all three format player for India. The way he's playing, right? I mean, clearly he's playing so well in T20. Like you said, he has all that shots, all the technique to play test cricket as well. It'll be a big loss for India if this guy doesn't make it for all three squads. And it's going to happen soon. It's really going to happen very soon. And like we talk about Gill as the next prince. I know it's too early to compare Sai and Gill, but see, they're playing in the same pitch, they're playing against the same opposition, and the consistency of Sai is just unbelievable. But again, talked about Gill. I mean, that Jeffra Archer ball, right? So. I used to be a fast bowler earlier when I was young, and when you see a dismissal like that, you feel so good, right? I mean, they say Gill's bat came late. No, Gill's bat didn't come late. The ball was too fast. It was just a superb ball. Just admit it. That is one of the best balls you can face. And what a spell from Jofra Archer again in the top.
Yeah, yeah. I think Jofra Archer has been. I think he's got a couple of. Initially, he had his own struggles.
Yeah,
Got hammered in the first two or three games, right? But again, he's come back stronger, and that's the way typically any world class player behave.
yeah,
Once they are down, but they have the capability, they have the mindset to sort of bounce back from there. So again, fierce spell from Archer, consistently hitting, crossing that 150 mark. Is not an easy task, especially in the Indian conditions when it's hot and humid. It's not like England and Australia where there is a breeze and all those things are happening. It's literally, Ahmedabad is not a very pleasing venue when it comes to the weather, right? So, fabulous job by Jofra Archer right up there, you know. But I think where Rajasthan probably struggled is the support which Archer should have got. You know, he didn't get right. Uh, if you talk about say Fazaluk Faruqi was given a game, he was
Yeah.
slightly expensive. Then the other ballers was sort of all over the place, and Tushar Deshpande got hammered. Tishana again got a couple of wickets, but again
Yeah.
he was not that. Probably I believe that Rajasthan should stick with the combination of Hasaranga and Tikshana irrespective of the wicket, because these guys are not typical spinners. You know, they'll give you that control in the middle overs, which probably went lacking in this game as well. And the flourish which was given, by Tewatia and Rashid in the end, I think that sort of took the target away from Rajasthan's reach, right? Let's talk about the Gujarat batting and their opening combination, right? The top three rather. So I know we tend to compare players pretty quickly, but I think there's a role which Gill as a captain has picked up. Is basically he'll go hard from the ball one, and you can see in his approach that
Yeah.
he's not someone who's sort of trying to take that anchor role up. Sudarshan is someone who's doing that job for
Yeah.
them, and the good part about Sudarshan is that he's not doing at 120, 130 strike rate. He's consistently a strike rate at 150 and above and playing
Yeah.
that anchor. So this is where the GT is getting really dangerous. And if I am the opposition captain, I would be really wary of Sai Sudarshan. I want to get that wicket early. What it does is that they'll have to sort of go back to the plan B or plan C. Like you mentioned, Nehraji has only got two or three plans. But
Yeah.
right now, what is happening with GT is that they are sticking with plan A only more often than
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
And that is working
Yeah.
out well for them. And I really want to see. Initially in the initial years of IPL, I always had this feeling. I always had this complaint. Okay, what is happening is that a lot of foreign players are getting exposure to Indian conditions, but we are not getting those quality domestic players. At least in the first 5 or 6 years of IPL. Then from the mid of 2015, things started to
Yeah.
change. We got the likes of Pandya, we got the likes of Bumrah, Surya Kumar Yadav, then Tilak. And for the past 2 3 years, especially if you see, there's a lot of young talent which is coming, Indian young talent rather, which is coming into the picture. So this year, if you talk about, there are so many players who are doing well. You got, Rajat Patidar, who is fairly experienced domestic player, by the way. You got
Arya,
Dhruv Jurai, Nitesh
Priyanka,
Sharma is well. You got Priyansh, someone like a Priyansh Arya. But I think
Angriksh is there. Yeah.
Ankriksh is there from the last couple of
Yeah.
seasons. But you gotta give it to the likes of Sai Sudarshan. Man, the consistency at that level is unmatched. And he has been doing this for the last 15 20 games since the last season. And I definitely would want to see him in the Indian colors sooner than later. And
Yeah.
like you mentioned, he's an all format player, but at least I would want to see him in the test setup as soon as possible, because India currently is struggling with the top order or top middle order, especially in the foreign conditions. I think that's where someone like a Sudarshan with his technique, with his temperament, I think will come in really handy.
Yeah, no, you're right. I still remember the first season he played for GT, and Ian Bishop made that comment, and Ian Bishop actually knew all his stats from TNPL, and he
Yeah.
said, "Watch out for this kid. I mean, this kid is going to go places." And if foreign experts are identifying good Indian talent and saying that these guys will go ahead, and that's exactly what's happened, right? He's been the fulcrum of the GT batting, and hopefully, I mean, like you said, hopefully we see him in the Indian colors soon. Yeah, I mean, like we discussed, right? I think the only what do you call Achilles heel of the GT batting lineup is the middle order, and today somewhat they were tested and they came out okay. But the plan is that one of the top three always stays supporting the middle order. If that doesn't happen, like you said, somebody gets those 3 wickets in the first 10 overs, then we want to see what the plan B and the plan C is, right? Hopefully, some team does that. I mean, otherwise, it's difficult to beat this GT team, right? And let's come to the Rajasthan batting. As long as Sanju was there, you felt that there is hope. But the moment Sanju left it, I think it was a difficult, it's an uphill battle. But again, what a brilliant opening spell from Siraj. I mean, GT has a formula, right? Hit the deck hard, bowl as fast as possible, stick to your line and lengths, and you will get the wickets will come, whatever format it is, right? That's the way cricket is. It's a very simple game if you look like that. But GT has been doing that, and again, the fast bowlers have come into the picture.
No, no, bang on, Sulesh. So when a team is chasing a 210, 220 sort of target, right, the power
Yeah,
play becomes extremely crucial
yeah,
at the cost of sounding cliched, but that's the way it goes, right?
yeah,
And that spell from Siraj, sort of ensured that Rajasthan, who's got a very solid pair in
yeah,
Jaiswal and Samson, they were not able to do anything about it, right? They got a couple of quick wickets. Jaiswal fell early, Nitish Rana fell early, and then it was wholly dependent on they had a partnership with Parag and Samson, but still there is a difference between chasing 180 and 220, right? So
yeah,
220 more often than not you need a couple of good, you need a solid start. Let's be honest about it.
yeah,
You need a great power play if you want to get anywhere close to that target. Otherwise you'll always playing up the catch up game, right? That's what happened yesterday as well. While Samson was looking solid, but there was very limited support from the other end, and by the time Hetmeyer came and played that knock, it was pretty much done and dusted for Rajasthan. So again, I think the problem with Rajasthan in this season is the form of their key players like Jaiswal. I know Samson is Samson is coming back from an injury, but he is slowly getting into the groove as a batter and as well as a captain. But I think the form of Yashasvi Jaiswal is gonna hurt. It must be hurting Rajasthan really really badly because you have banged on someone like a Jaiswal more than Butler. You retain Jaiswal, you let Butler go. You retain say Dhruv Jurel, you retain Shimran Hetmeyer. Jurel and Hetmeyer will come later into the picture, but at least the solidity at the top of the order is very, very crucial. And that's where Rajasthan are struggling at this point of time.
yeah. And like you mentioned, right, along with the form of Jaiswal, I think the form of Parag also. It hasn't been great. I mean, they've spent so much on him. They've groomed him. He had a great season last time, and a lot of complaints that he's coming lower on the order. This time they pushed him up the order. He's number four as well. He's a good number four batsman. He's the ideal number four batsman. But again, his form also has been on and off. Maybe the early captaincy pressures caught on to him. But yeah, you're right. And one good thing, one heartening thing to see in Gujarat is that all the bowlers got a wicket, right? We were talking about Rashid. Even Rashid has now come back to form. Not the typical Rashid we would have seen. I mean, Hetmeyer took him on, but otherwise, I'm still happy to see Rashid also get into the wickets. And yeah, I mean, Kulwant got a wicket, Prasid got wickets, Arshad Khan got that crucial wicket of Jaiswal. So I think, yeah, that and you can see, right, Siraj's confidence. And I think a lot of people are attributing Siraj's wickets to that saliva on the ball. And they say that that's adding a lot of benefit to Siraj. It's unfortunate that it's been attributed to that. The guy has really worked on his line and lengths. And that cross seam, right? Bowling a cross seam is so difficult in any form of the game. And in T20, when one ball, when two, three balls can be hit, you suddenly lose the line and length. But he's kept at it, and he's bowled really well. And I think he's sort of developing as a leader of the attack, which is very good to see, right? We want that Siraj to come for India as well. And I'm sure it will. That form will come for India as well. It's a matter of time that he comes to India colors. But good to see this attack being led by Siraj up front and lower the order, Rashid Khan. And Rashid Khan should be the leader in the middle orders. And once he gets back his form, which I think he will, it'll be a very tough GT side to beat.
No, no. So again, I think we are forgetting one more guy, the other Sai Kishore. I think
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like sure. Yeah,
the kind of control he's having, the lengths which he's hitting consistently on all kind of wickets, I think it's
yeah,
really heartening. The reason why Gujarat actually is not struggling, even though Rashid is nowhere close to his
yeah,
best,
yeah,
only
yeah.
because of the magic of Sai Kishore, right? And let's be honest, if you want to win T20 games consistently, there are two or three parameters which you need in your favor. One obviously is the form of your top order, then your pace attack, and that control which probably your spinners or the second change, first change seamer can give you in the middle orders overs. And Gujarat currently are ticking all the boxes at this point of time, right?
Yeah, and it's about Saikesh. Do you think he's there in India's top three left-arm spinners right now, or probably even the top one or two?
So I think in T20, I mean, going by the current IPL form, I think he's probably doing better than Jadeja. But again, I
Mm,
think I don't want to get too ahead of myself and compare Jadeja or Akshar Patel with him because that won't be fair on him or even those guys. But I think
yeah,
he's definitely a talent to watch out for in the coming years. And
yeah,
again, just like Jadeja and Akshar, he can be someone who I'm still yet to see his batting talent, but at least from the bowling point of view, he can be he's a player, definitely a player to watch out for.
yeah. No, I would definitely. I mean, once the Jadeja retires, which is inevitable, happen soon. I think they should start grooming Sai Kishore. I mean, yeah, it may not be as good as a batsman as these two, but if you can get those 4 overs every match with an economy of around 5 or 6, it's just so valuable. Like you said, right? That crucial middle order choking, and with him and say Varun Chakravarti, I can see India choking other teams in that middle order, and it'll be so tough to get these two away. So yeah, I mean, I really want him to play for India. I think
I
he's
mean,
up there among the best left armers.
going by this season, I think India is shaping up really well for that 2026 World Cup.
Yeah,
Lot of options across the categories. You got Jaiswal, Gill, Sai Sudarshan, Abhishek Sharma, Sanju Samson. There's plenty
yeah,
of options to open the innings. In middle order, you've got obviously got Sky, Tilak Verma. Maybe someone like a Gaikwad can come into the picture at some point of time.
yeah.
Rajat Patidar is there. So lot of
But
options.
yeah, sure,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think Indian T20 squad is like shaping up really well,
yeah.
and that's a really heartening sign if you're an Indian cricket fan.
Great. I think that is a good segue to get into the next match. A very crucial match. Both teams are playing. I think it's RCB DC, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
RCB
both
DC.
at Chinnaswamy. That at Chinnaswamy is very important. I mean, see, DC are unbeaten, right? I think it'll be a great match. And I really hope RCB removes the jinx of Chinnaswamy sooner than later. I mean, this team is performing so well outside Chinnaswamy. The fans in Bangalore need to see this great team perform up in front of their own eyes. And I hope they get the opportunity. I mean, typically, yeah, Chinnaswamy chasing is easier. I would prefer RCB to chase, somehow restrict Delhi to 180, 200 and then just go bang on and win that target with Kohli probably leading the chase. But yeah, otherwise, if somebody ends up putting a 230 or 240, then it's a tough game, is what I feel.
No, I think in an ideal world, as a RCB fan, I'm sure you would want DC to sort of fold out below 200 or 180,
Yeah.
something around there. But I think Delhi's got a solid batting lineup, man. I mean,
Mm.
I'm really looking forward to this contest. Not too often you say that in any season of the IPL you see that you want to watch out for Delhi versus RCB game.
Right,
But this has been a different season so far, and which
right.
is a good sign. Usually it is like more of a Mumbai, CSK, and KKR and all these guys had. But the
Mm.
kind of form Delhi is in, and even the RCB's form is top notch. I'm really excited to see the battle of Bhuvaneshwar versus KL Rahul at top of the order, because we know KL and McGurk are gonna come hard, and we know
Mm.
Both Bhuvi and Hazelwood have got this knack of picking up early wickets, who can exploit the conditions early on. A great contest on hand. I really want to see a close game at Chinnaswamy. And like you mentioned, I'm not gonna comment on the result of the game, but as a neutral fan, definitely love to watch a close encounter. And there are certain key battles like Bovi versus KL, and all these battles. I'm sort of really looking forward to.
Great. And you never know, maybe a fast return to RCB. Yeah. lot of inner battles here, right? And an exciting match to look forward to. Let's see. Let's connect tomorrow and discuss the results of that match. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please
See
show
you.
some love by following if you're liking our content. Please pitch in your suggestions as well. We would be happy to sort of take them up.
Yeah.
Thank you, so
Do
much, guys.
subscribe and share with your friends. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.